If you've been to the gas pump recently to fuel up your vehicle, you probably noticed that the gas prices keep rising and it's becoming more and more expensive to fill up the full tank. As the price of crude oil is rising, it's not a surprise that the gas price increase as well. However, the cost of crude oil is not the only reason why gas prices are so high. So let's take a closer look at how gas prices are calculated. There are four main components that, when added together, make up the price of gasoline that you see at the gas station. To illustrate how those four components affect the gas prices, we'll use the current gas price example in the city of Vancouver, British Columbia, which is $1.87 per liter. The first component that affects the price of gas is the price of crude oil, obviously. And that's the cost of crude oil which is used to make the gasoline. As the price of crude oil increases, so does the price of gasoline. Crude oil costs make up about 44% of the price of gasoline. So in our example, you are paying about 82 cents per liter to cover the cost of crude oil. So what factors affect the price of crude oil in the first place? The first one is production cost. It's the cost of getting the oil from the ground and to the surface. Then we have transportation costs, and that's the cost to get oil from the field to the refinery, where it can be converted into the gasoline. Then the third factor is the type of oil. Lighter oils like WTI and Brent are more expensive because you can make more gasoline from them than from heavier crude oils. Then we have demand, and then this is how much oil is being used by the economy. And then there is supply, and that's how much oil is actually available. Conflicts in oil-producing countries can significantly decrease the supply, and so does the OPEC that can control the output of crude oil. And then lastly, we have market speculations. Fears and rumors can usually drive the price of crude oil. Currently, one of the reasons why oil is hitting almost $130 per barrel is the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. Russia is supplying a lot of oil and gas to Europe, and there is a high potential that this supply will be interrupted, and that's why prices are currently spiking and may increase even higher in the future. This means that the gasoline prices that we are seeing at the pump will likely continue to rise in the near future. The second component of the gasoline prices is refining costs. To convert crude oil into the gasoline that you can use in your car, it first needs to be refined. The costs associated with converting crude oil into gasoline are called refining costs. In addition to that, refinery also needs to make some profit to stay afloat, and that's why they charge more than it actually costs for them to make gasoline. Refinery costs are about 47 cents per liter, or 25% of the price of gasoline. Next we have taxes. As with everything else, gasoline is taxed as well, and different countries and regions have their own taxes. Vancouver is a good example because it has almost 6 different taxes for gasoline. First, there is the provincial motor fuel tax, which is 1 cent 75. Then we have a carbon tax, which is almost 10 cents. And the thing with carbon tax is that it tends to increase each year. This means the amount you pay the pump will increase as well. Then there is dedicated motor fuel tax, TransLink tax, federal excise tax, and lastly we have a GST. All these taxes added up together are about 55 cents per liter, or make up almost 30% of the price of gasoline. And as you can see, the tax have a significant effect on the price of gasoline. And lastly, we have retail costs. Retail costs are what gas stations are making from selling gasoline. In our example, the retail costs are pretty low and just about 3 cents per liter, but in most cases it will be higher. If you add up the cost of crude oil, refining costs, taxes, and retail costs, the total price will be $1.87 per liter. Even though in today's video we were talking about the price of gasoline, similar logic applies to the price of diesel.